Hey, this is Lee with learningwithlee.com. Today we are going to look at media queries. Okay, it's a specific thing we write that defines the size of the screen and what we want to happen when the screen is that size. Okay, we use this with CSS. That's what we're working on. And so everything in here is affected when the screen is less than 760 or 760 pixels and less. So it says when the maximum width that this applies to is 760 pixels. And all the other CSS is going to apply, but then these little changes are going to be made. Okay, so let's just look at that and then we'll talk about it some more. So here's an old website I made for my course that I took. And then just show you what happens as the screen gets smaller. The font size is going to get smaller. And then there's see how the font changed there? The font gets smaller. And then at a certain point, it switches to what I define as the mobile view. The menu changed. I'll go back and show you that. And the layout changed. Okay. Jump around. So here are these things listed like this. Right? And then as it gets smaller, flips, and here there's things listed like this. Right? And those courses, they're just listed like this on the mobile screen, but here they're listed like this. Okay, so it's changing, not just changing how I'm doing things. Like this changed a lot, right? Having the courses listed like this to being listed like this, it changed a lot. Now some things you can use percentages or like the viewport, different things for your sizes that will adjust automatically with your screen, but sometimes you just want to make a big change. Now I'm talking about this now because we started talking about flex, and things change in here from like rows to columns like that. Those things were listed in like a flex row and now they're in a flex column. These change, right? These things are listed in a column here, but these things are next to each other. That's flex here. We're going to talk about that probably next week. Like here's a flex box. These are flex across, and this is a flex column in this flex box, which is putting these next to each other, but then these are in a column. But then it's all going to switch to a column. This and this aren't going to be next to each other anymore. It switches to a column. Okay, so the media query does stuff like that, and also this menu at the top. Okay, so our flex design is going to make it automatically kind of stretch like that, and we will be doing that in the next couple weeks, next couple lessons. But then it just switches entirely to a different, mobile, what I would call the mobile menu. So how do we do all that? And that's based on the media query. Okay, so once it gets to a certain size, then the desktop header, just take off display none. Okay, we did display flex, display block, display none is something I use all the time. I'm just going to take that off, and then we're going to display instead, display flex, the mobile header. Okay, and the banner changed to column when it gets to this. So that was like this part at the top of the page, right? This is next to each other, and then it switches to being a column. Okay, I use flex for all that kind of stuff, space things out nicely. So I often use 760, 960, and even 480 sometimes for what I want to appear on the screen. Like think of a small cell phone. You don't want like a bunch of words or an image with a bunch of words in it. You don't want to do that. You want it to you know, maybe even at that mobile menu. They can think of a mobile menu will often have like just 3 lines, and then you click on that to open up a menu. So yeah, you're going to want to change like the whole design sometimes based on the screen size. Another thing you can do is this. This is max, like in between. So between 480 and 740, I want you to do these things. So here's another display none, display black. Like this is my header image. It's like a banner across kind of image, and then it changes. My small image is a square. So it changes from the long rectangle into a square when it gets to a small screen. So usually you can just do max width and just say, you know, anything up to this size, use this. It's not really necessary to do this thing, but maybe sometimes you want to do it, and here's how. Put those parentheses around, like all these little details matter, right? Use the @ symbol, @media, then only, screen, and then you define your thing, a bracket, and then you put all your CSS inside. You don't need to repeat anything that's already applied, just whatever's changing. And then close out the media query brackets. Okay, so what we just talked about with the column, that's something that I use this for. I want to change it. I want to decide when it changes into a column. So where am I getting these numbers from? One more thing here. If you inspect your element, I will right click and then inspect and bring that up. As I change this, you can see here it tells you the pixels, and it just disappeared, but that tells you the pixels. So you kind of see, you can go along and be like, oh, you know, that doesn't look good anymore. Oh, we need to change it. Okay, kind of see where it breaks. Like this looks good. I could probably break it a little sooner. That doesn't look the best. Could probably break it around there. So just look for breaking points where it's just not looking good anymore. When you can go real small, look what it look like on a cell phone. Does it still function if it was on a small screen? So just look for those breaking points, what you think. And you can even think of, you know, you can put several of them in there. There are probably some standard sizes that you can find online for cell phone, tablets, and things like that. I've never looked at my sites on a TV screen, but you know, it's something to think of. So anyway, that's how you'll do that. Play with it. Get your site to move around for you. Change some rows to columns based on screen size, and play around with that. And I'll see you